What's going on, everybody? What's up? You're not in a good mood? It's Friday. Isn't it supposed to be TGIF? Like, thank goodness it's Friday? Oh, no, that's right. You probably bet the Calgary Flames last night like I did, and you're still livid about it despite the fact that it's Friday. So, we'll get through this together. Let's do it. Let's get through this together. I don't need you to call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's not going to be that level of a deal yet. We just lost in Calgary. All right, you ready? Breathe. Okay, if you need to feel better about last night's game, just remember this. You don't live in Calgary. Okay, you're starting to feel better. I know I am as well. You know, that's one of those places, you don't even have to check the temperature. You know, when it's like, let's see what it's like. No, oh, you're not going out tonight. That's the temperature in Calgary. So that's how you should feel. But as far as that game goes and as far as that bet goes, I'll tell you, it sucks, but I just will not change my thought process when it comes to those type of games. I watched Detroit play on the second half of back-to-backs earlier this year. They got shut out. They looked awful. They looked tired. It's just very hard to foresee them after that game against Edmonton with their backup goalie on the road the very next night coming out and looking the way they did. Kudos to them. Not changing my philosophy when it comes to that particular set of rules that I apply to teams. It's just, when you even hear players talk later in the season, during the offseason, they talk about how much they dread those games. And if that's the case, I'm going to stick with it, whether I win or lose, because that is the philosophy of somebody who's sure of what they're talking about. But we're going to be looking now at a couple of games here on Friday. Fortunately, they gave us more than normal. I feel like they usually just stick us with 3 games that are miserable to bet on Fridays. There are a couple that I like here on this Friday. Something that you're going to like. I know you've been asking for a new promotion. You wanted it, you got it. DraftKings, you bet $5 on any one of these games. You want to bet on the heaviest favorite? It's fine. Any money line, as long as you're correct, DraftKings Sportsbook will credit you with $150 in free bet credits as long as you're a new user on the platform, over 21, and located in an area where sports betting is permitted. And if you have a problem, even more than being upset about Calgary, you got a real gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Somebody will be there to answer your call. I just mentioned those Senators. They're a very high favorite. I'll just touch on them quickly. They've been winning games recently. Chicago has looked as dismal as you could, even for their normal dismal selves. I saw Patrick Kane being criticized for just truly mailing it in on defense, and especially in a game where you're playing a potential trade partner or a team that you claim you want to go to. Tough to say they're in disarray with all the drama that surrounded that franchise the last 2 years, but they're, they're in disarray's version of disarray. They're playing extremely poorly, getting blown out in a bunch of games. And I would expect the Senators, who have been getting some results recently, to continue them at home against the most beatable team in the league. You want to say Columbus, but they beat Winnipeg last night. Thank God we stayed off of that one. Jesus Christ. We took the under, too. Doesn't it always feel like you're stealing when you stay away from a heavy favorite, but you take the total and you're correct? Like, we avoided Winnipeg. Like, that's a massive rat. And yet we won on that game? Woo! Of all the people who bet on that Winnipeg game, you saw the percentages. Do you know how few won? Hey, something good there at least. I know the Philly one didn't come through. But at least I said that Kraken same gamer did. Look at this. I'm having a mini argument about my daily bets to myself. So the Senators should be able to get a result. I realize it's a high minus, so you want something to pair that with. I got good news for you, ladies and gentlemen. I got a prop. This one is literally going to be in line with those playoff point props. Remember that? Ryan Strome, Alex Killorn, we bet against them every single game. And I have the next version of that. This is the best you can get with the regular season version, because playoffs is a different beast. Every game is, chances are hard to come by, so you can laugh your way to those wins. But this one, I actually took 2 times before the All-Star break, and that is the under on half of a point for Josh Bailey. Why did I stop taking it? Because the Islanders traded for Bo Horvat and then elevated Bailey to the top line. See, he was demoted to the 4th line, rightfully so, because that's where he always should have been, and it was just the easiest bet 2 games in a row. They traded for Horvat, then they bumped him up to the top line. I'm like, all right, I can't take this, because I can't take the chance that something banks off his skate, goes to Barzal feeds Horvat, and then Bailey gets a secondary assist. So I had to put the brakes on that, but I said in the back of my head, as soon as he's demoted, I'm going right back to that. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen? He's been demoted to that third line, so I'm going to take the under half of a point for Josh Bailey tonight, and whatever other night he remains on the third or fourth line. So give me the under half of a point for Josh Bailey, and definitely you can put that together with the Senators. That will give you a nice plus money to team, but with one player prop parlay. So that's nice, but that's not my main pick of the night. What does that even mean? I do feel good about that. But here's the game that I'm going to focus on. We have two teams that we bet against the other night who are playing each other. We bet against Dallas when they played Boston, and we bet against Minnesota when they played Avalanche. If you watch that Avalanche-Minnesota game, it went exactly as you'd expect. Minnesota grinded, did everything they could defensively. Honestly, if it wasn't for Fleury, they probably would have won that game. He let in like 2 soft goals. They may have won 2-1. Defense has not been the issue. They held Florida, who will go over with anybody. They'll go over with the 2003 Trap Devils. They'll find a way to go over in that game. And that was 1-1 going into overtime. So defense has not been a question for the Minnesota Wild. It's how are they able to generate offense? So with that being the fact, and they're playing against Ottinger and the Dallas Stars, first thing I'm going to say, even if it's a low number, I'm going to go under on this one. But I think Minnesota's going to rebound from that Colorado loss, which they played well in. I think they held Colorado to under 20 shots and lost the game. I think they're going to roll that type of effort over into this one, but they're going to be rewarded this time. I'm going to take Minnesota and the under against the Dallas Stars. And this is one of the few cases, I think, where the later you bet it, the better the price you'll probably have on it, because I don't see many people betting Minnesota in this one. They've won, one game over like their last 5, but I think this is the right spot to take them at home against the Dallas Stars. Dallas has won twice against them this year. Minnesota has won once. I think they're going to even the season series, and obviously they need the points in the standings because they are in that, I believe they're tied for the they're in the second to last wild card spot, I believe, but they want to be in that top 3, so they're not, one of the wild cards in the Western Conference. So this game obviously means a lot to the both of them. And since I think they're going to put the clamps down defensively, I was thinking strategically, all right, well, how can I benefit from that? How can I profit from that? So I looked at the player props. I go, who do they got in plus money? I don't want to mess with guys like Robertson, but Joe Pavelski, I'll take the under half of a point on Joe Pavelski in this particular game. They give you plus money. I do like the under on Tyler Seguin a little bit more because he's not even on the top line or the top power play unit, but it's like a minus 155 for him. You get plus money on the under for Joe Pavelski, but either one of them is good if you ask me. I think the Pavelski is a little more of a sniff, and I think the under on Seguin is a little more of a safe play. So what else we got on this night? We got that Kings game. They're playing the Ducks. It's division rival, that whole type of thing, which usually means it's either like 2-1 or 6-5. I'll just go with my gut on this one. The Kings, they need the points because if you see their division, I think first and third is separated by like 1 win. So obviously there is motivation for these teams to win every single game on their slate. Can't really be taking many off in that division. So I think they'll find a way to win this one. And if I had to guess, these two teams don't strike me as scorers, but they got the under at plus money. I'm tempted to go Kings and under if I were to make 2 selections in that one. And the final game I'm going to be looking at is the Rangers at Edmonton. Rangers have scored 6, 6, and 6. They got the over-under at 7 in this game. I know people are probably tempted to take the... If you show me an over-under 7 and Shesterkin's playing, that's pretty ballsy. That to win, you need 8 goals in a game where Igor Shesterkin is starting. I don't know how you can do that, but I certainly won't be. As far as the sides go, if Shesterkin started, I'd probably lean towards Rangers. If he doesn't, I would definitely lean towards the Edmonton Oilers, but that's not what I'm going to be taking for this game. For this game, I had my own prop that I really liked, and then I went back to OddsShopper. I checked the bunkers over at Area 51 to double check my work, and they have 2 props that are dead similar to mine. So the one I wanted to take was Mika Zibanejad at like minus 160 to register a point. He's on the top line and top power play unit, but that top line is ultra stacked now. It's Zibanejad, Kreider, and Tarasenko all on that top line. It's like a super stacked all-star line. And if you're giving me minus 165 for the main shooter on their power play, along with the main scorer on their... I mean, they're all scorers on that top line. But to register a point minus 165, I just think that's an unbelievable deal. Then I went over to OddsShopper, and what are two of their favorite plays from this game? The Vladimir Tarasenko over half of a point, which is like minus 105 or even maybe. And then the over 2.5 shots for Chris Kreider. So everyone on that line, the guys at OddsShopper, Area 51, and me, we're all a fan of that. It's almost like one of those DFS top stacks. So any one of those I'm on board with. My particular favorite would be the Zibanejad point. I think they also like the Panarin assist once again. I'll never really complain when he's going well on that particular prop. All right, everybody, that's what I got for you here on this Friday. I really would like to end this week well, so that you guys feel good going into the weekend, because you don't want to go into the weekend grumpy and angry at me, and that means on Monday that you're going to carry over. I'd rather I'd rather this week be like a pretty bad movie with that one good scene on the middle there, and then a great ending on Friday, because the great ending, the Sixth Sense, it will stay in your head. All right, everyone, take it easy. Good luck to all of you. Better luck to me. It doesn't matter how it goes. I'm still going to ask for better luck than all of you. Make sure you subscribe to the OddsShopper channel here. It's very much appreciated. Come find me on social media. It's at Andy Francis. The name you see on your screen, bottom left right now, on all platforms. I understand you don't have all the platforms, but whatever platforms you do, like they tag my YouTube page. Sometimes I do live. Sometimes I post some videos there. Subscribe to me there. Check that out. I will be back with you Monday. Take it easy.